I
can record
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I just meant record the making the process of making the beat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know what? Let me start making it right now, actually.
Okay. I hit record on the Zoom just so that we have it.
Cool.
That was a nice little jingle. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The keywords that I had in mind, like to describe what I envisioned it sounding like. I want you to be creative,
Yeah,
obviously, to your thing, but it was like jazzy hip hop.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, like fast pace, build up, kind of. I don't know about build up, but like bring in. You
Right.
get it. You get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix my camera really quick.
Sorry it's taking me a minute. I just started I just got a new laptop.
Ooh, a new workflow.
Yeah, cuz I told you like my old one crashed, right?
You might have mentioned it, but it didn't stick.
Yeah. Oh fuck, I don't have Soundflower on this.
Is that
shit?
Is that a recording software that you use?
No, it basically it lets me hook up audio internally in my laptop, so I can like route audio from like Logic to Zoom or something. I'll have to re-download it at some point.
Yeah, I could hear you pretty good over the mic, but that would be sick if I could hear exactly what you were hearing.
Yeah, you know what? Let me look up on the internet and see.
We could just like chat while you download it if you want to get it set up.
Yeah, let's do that.
So how's Ari today?
Pretty pretty good. Pretty good. I've just been chilling and watching some TV. How about you, man?
I've been pretty good today. It's kind of low energy, but that's like seems to be the normal for this kind of year for me. So
yeah, that's the vibe.
Just chilling, just like straight vibing with life and trying to make moves, and it's been fun. I think I've found a nice little groove in my like intellectual space. I feel like I've found a good place where I'm actually enjoying the way I'm thinking about things and the levels that I can take my thoughts to recently compared to like before. I used to get all mad when I felt like I wasn't thinking very deeply. Like I was frustrated that all my thoughts seemed to be just like superficial or like implanted from outside influence. But recently I've been like actually like feeling good about the ideas that are going through my head. So it's like kind of exciting. I feel like I'm maturing. I think that's maybe what it is. The things I'm thinking about are just maturing.
Hell yeah. Oh shit. Wait, hold up. Is there any chance you can stop recording the Zoom and we can start over once I figure this out?
Yeah, here I'll just pause it for now then.
Yeah.
Because this is a nice little intro to the podcast. Then we'll come in all official.
Cool.
All right. Well, welcome back to the We Are One podcast. That was a nice little intro. We just had to hit pause to get set up. We kind of called an audible on what we were gonna be getting right away here. We got Ari Pentelovitch. We're gonna have a conversation at some point here, but in this beginning here, he's gonna make us an intro for the podcast, and he's gonna do it right here on this Zoom call, so we can kind of watch, and I'll be able to participate with him, give him some of the pointers that I'm looking for to hear in our intro. What I gave him off the jump was like jazzy, hip hop, like roll in type music, and I am just hoping that's enough. I even said like little ethereal with some bass. So take it away, Ari.
Nice.
Nice.
Can hear.
So Ari,
Yeah.
real quick, who are you? I'm sure people are like sitting here like, who is this guy?
I am a musician and a producer and a mixer, and I mean I do a whole bunch of stuff, but I consider myself primarily a musician. I from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Been playing a long ass time. Yeah, I mean I make music mostly just for myself, I guess. Yeah.
I've enjoyed to good majority of the music that you've sent me, and that we even got to collaborate on album art in the past too. So I enjoyed that album a lot. We'll show that. We'll talk about that a little bit more. What are you doing right now? I'm curious.
I just put some tape cassette effect on that piano, so it'll get this lo-fi vintage sound, which I mean it's kind of played out at this point, but you know, gotta go in for the cliches. Oh shit! God damn it! I didn't know that shit wasn't free.
Oh, that loop back
Yeah.
that we tried instead of
Okay.
sunflower or soundflower.
Yeah. Damn it.
Well, how much is it?
I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Are you cool just going through the mic for now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Just talk us through kind of what you're doing. I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah. So I'm just setting it up so it has a little bit of a cassette effect, like it's like I'm recording through a cassette player.
Okay.
Just to give it a little bit of old school feel. I'm gonna pull up
I'm with it.
a
Are we on
drum.
GarageBand right now?
Nah, Logic. It's like the
Oh, Logic.
upgraded. Yeah.
Oh, it looks just like GarageBand.
Yeah, it's like the professional version of GarageBand.
Okay.
Now let's grab some vinyl simulation. All right, let's see. Isotope vinyl stereo. God damn. Sorry, this is all just because it's a new fucking laptop.
Yeah, you don't have some of your standard plugins and stuff available right away?
Yeah, nah. Okay. Gonna have to do this the hard way, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
So that'll simulate like, okay. It's cool to me that you have that year knob.
Yeah, to make it sound like vinyl from different years. Let's see. All right. Fuck, I should come back in with a click, actually.
I feel like that bass needs more depth.
Yeah, I'm gonna double the bass drum, actually.
Okay.
Cool. And another software instrument. Let's see. Gonna go here. We're gonna go to audio spillage, pull up mini spillage, mono. Come on.
It sounds like you're like standing outside a club waiting to get in.
Yeah.
Baby daddy. Okay. Let me get a flavor of that with just let me hear without the metronome maybe.
Yeah.
Unless you got an idea what you want to add to it right away.
Yeah, I was gonna add some bass next, but I can compress the drums first.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the We Are One podcast. All right, that was just a test run, you know. I just had to see how it felt like rolling in off of that. It feels pretty good. I like the way you wrap up that like final couple beats at the end there, that you did something different. What's he getting? He's gonna put some flavor on it. Is that a bass guitar?
Uh-huh.
Oh baby, it's getting real serious.
Yeah. I ain't gonna do too much work getting a sound out of it.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Amps, bass amp designer.
So how many of these different, like when you're going in and picking like spillage or bass amp designer, how many of those different things do you use, and like do you have an idea of like what the sound is?
Yeah, I mean, so these are all the manufacturers for them. These are just all the different manufacturers, and I know what they all do. They all have different sounds, you know?
Yeah, that's overwhelming to me.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, it's here, hold up. Yeah, these are all that.
That's a lot of unique sounds just to like have in your head stored somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's easy to break down because they fit it into different categories, you know?
Mhm.
Like these all do the same thing, but they do the same thing in different ways.
Right.
And I know how all those different ways sound.
I feel like I would get stuck in a trap where I find something that I like and I just use it over and over again.
The nice thing about mixing is that a lot of it is just problem solving. So it's about knowing what the right tool for the job is, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Let's see, and then plug amps and pedals. BOD.
What does our meeting look like right now, I wonder?
What?
So I was just saying, I wonder what our Zoom looks like now, because I'm screen sharing this this album art that we had made, Cola Voce.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see.
I feel like it gets me in a flow almost already.
Yeah.
Can you see this on your computer right now?
Nah.
I'm curious what it looks like. Let's get out of here. Some trumpet. Oh. How many instruments do you yourself play?
5 or 6, depending how you count.
Would like the 5 or 6 be like variations of the same type of instrument?
Kinda. It's like, well, it's like depends how you differentiate percussion instruments mostly. Like if you would differentiate hand percussion from orchestral percussion, stuff like that.
Okay. That went right over my head, but I think I have an understanding of it. Make it wet.
Pedals.
When did you first start making music?
I've been playing instruments since I was like 4 or 5.
What was the first instrument you picked up?
Drum set, because
Drum set?
both my brothers played drum set, so that's what I started out with.
Were you in organized band very shortly after?
Yeah, not like through school, but I started taking lessons at McPhail downtown.
Okay. How much of your music education has been self-educated?
The only thing I've taken lessons on has been drums and guitar. Drums, but I only took guitar lessons for like a year.
And I like this. It sounds like it's like a everyone gather. That's almost the vibe I got from that.
Yeah, I feel that actually. Let's see, delay, and then where is it? Speed. Here we go.
And I love how all these boards have like a unique look too.
Oh yeah.
That's sick.
Oh shit. Don't want to record over the bass.
I was gonna warn you, but I also don't know what I'm looking at. So I mean, I get what I'm looking at, but yeah.
So now I'll do that. Then let's see. Go down here. Pull up specialized.
So there was only one other. There was only one instrument so far that you did like 2 takes with. That's my favorite part so far.
Which one?
I don't know. There was one that you started over, but it's only been once.
Huh, weird. Usually it's more than that.
So music runs in your family?
Huh?
Music runs in your family in one way or another?
Nah, it's basically just me. I mean, my brothers both stopped playing drums after high school.
Okay.
And they graduated. My youngest older brother graduated high school when I was like 6 or 7, I think. Cool.
Damn, this is fun to watch. To watch this evolution. That was perfectly timed finish.
Hell yeah. You know what's up.
Wait, so how old are you now?
I'm 19, but I'm gonna be 20 Whew, in like a few days. Damn. On the 15th. So I think
Oh,
Friday.
yeah, that is just a few days. Happy early birthday, brother.
Hey, thanks, man.
So you've been playing music for over 15 years.
Oh man, yeah.
Does that blow your mind ever to like think that?
I mean, no, it's just what I do. It's been in my brain for so long it doesn't even like register, you know? It's like walking.
Okay. I like that.
It's like walking or talking. I mean, I talk better through music than I do through words, you know?
See, I'd say you're a good talker, so that says a lot about your music. Get some booty claps in there.
Hell yeah.
So how much of your day involves music?
Almost all of it actually. I mean, it's really like the main thing I do.
Because you're in school for music in some form, right?
Right. Yeah.
Um. So what are you going to school for then, technically?
Uh I th- I don't know what my major is going to be yet. I'm thinking drum set performance maybe.
Where do you go to school then?
I'm at Berklee College of Music.
Okay, that's right. You were excited to go because you won't actually be going to campus then at all, will you?
Not until next fall, I don't think.
Okay.
See how that works.
Is that bittersweet,
What?
like not going to campus? Because I almost imagine it might be nice to continue producing in your space.
I mean, it's like I don't know. I took a gap year off so I could feel ready, and now I feel ready, and now I'm kind of trapped at home.
Now
Plus, like the main
you're
reason
like
I'm going,
hindered.
yeah, and like the main reason I'm going is to make the connections that I'm not, and I can't make them online really. You know?
Right. Yeah. It's not connection in the same way at all.
Yeah. Oops. Come on now. Work.
Okay. So what are you trying to do now then?
I'm trying to troubleshoot something with this trumpet. Let's see about that.
I like it so far.
So do I actually. Let's see.
That trumpet's a nice touch. Now, Berkeley's a pretty prestigious music school, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it gets thought of that way.
So was Berkeley somewhere you wanted to attend school for a long time?
Well, when I was younger and kind of stupid and didn't know shit, I was like, I'm going to be a working musician right out of high school, and that wasn't realistic. So I figured out it wasn't realistic, and I ended up applying to Berklee.
You were
And
a working musician though, to some capacity though, aren't you? Or weren't you?
I mean, yeah, I like gig around, but it wasn't enough to sustain like
Yeah,
like place to live or food or anything.
right. Because what type of like gigs were you playing then? Because
Oh man, it
you
was
have a
like,
jazz band, right? Let me think off trying to think off
yes.
memory. You have a jazz band and then you perform at a church or for a church?
Yeah, I played. So I go to these blues jams, or I did before COVID, and I got a lot of opportunities through that. But I met this dude Joe, who's a pastor at this church, and he invited me to come play drums at his church, and I accepted because gig's a gig, and I had never played like black gospel music before because I'm not only am I not Christian, I'm not black. So I
Right.
had never like encountered that music before.
Wait, you're not black?
Wait, you're not Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and yeah, so I had that gig. I had some gig. I met this other dude, a saxophone player named Michael Anderson. He got me some gigs in a disco band, actually, a disco cover band that was gonna go around and like play casinos before COVID happened.
Oh, damn. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Would you have been playing drums in the disco band then?
No, I was
Also?
on keys in there.
Okay. Dude, I love watching you perform on keys. I've seen you perform a couple of times now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess you have. Yeah, because you did the album release show with my band.
Yeah, and Spelt Milk, right?
Yeah, Spellmouth Collective
Spelt Milk
for our
Collective.
second album, I think.
Yeah, shout
Yeah,
it out. That
and
was
when
a
we had
fun
like
night.
the 12-piece band, Open Honey.
I was genuinely like impressed with the level of music that your group was producing. I didn't have, for what I witnessed and got to listen to, my expectations were not that high.
Right.
And I was expecting good music, but I wasn't expecting it on that level. I left like almost blown away.
Let's let's give this a real quick listen, and then I think I'm gonna leave it where it's at. And then you know what? I'll work up the mix and stuff, and then send you a final version.
Okay, tight. Let's
Yeah.
let's peep it.
Let me check that one more time, just so I can make sure I'm not missing anything I want to fix.
Real quick,
Yeah.
when that horn comes in, I just feel like I've arrived. It's like,
Yeah.
woo, like, hey, like I'm walking out to a crowd. That's like the vibe I get.
Yeah, I like that. No, I think that's the vibe I'm going for too.
Dude, thank you so much.
And
I'm very grateful.
yeah, I'm
Especially
gonna.
not especially to be able to talk with you while you make it. Like
Oh, hell yeah, man.
this is some fun content.
Yeah. Let me go through one more time just because I always check all my shit 3 times before I leave it.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Is the horn going out too early now?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I like that.
Me too. I'm excited to hear it once it's mixed.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Thank you, brother man. That is dope.
absolutely.
Now we got a working intro that we all got to witness Ari produce live for us, man. That's pretty sick. So one thing you said like you always like to check it 3 times
Yeah.
before you save it. Now, is I'm wondering, like, because sometimes people say they might just like say something like that, just like make an excuse as to why they're doing this like silly thing right now. But I
Yeah.
feel like for you, maybe like there a reason you are that particular when you're hitting save on a project?
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know, everyone refines their workflows over time, but I check my shit 3 times because I mean, again, and it also depends on the mix, but I spend each listen focusing on a different part of the mix. Um, just to, like as my final check. So like I was spending that first listen focusing on the drums, and then I was spending the second listen focusing on the bass and the keys, and then I was the third listen focusing on the trumpet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So there were particular things that you were focusing on in each listen.
Yeah, yeah. When I'm mixing and producing, I find like the easiest way to catch as many mistakes as possible before I export is to listen multiple times and then like focus on a different area of the frequency spectrum,
Mm.
or a different part of the like the how you divide up the instrument. So like rhythm section versus like vocals, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm working on a song that has like a lot more instruments than that one, then I might listen to it even more times. Like if I have like that same setup, but instead I got like 6 horns and also vocals and also guitars, like I might listen like 5 or 6 times.
Hmm.
Do I have main vocals and backup vocals?
How many different genres have you been a part of producing?
Pre-
Or not I say producing in the sense of like
yeah,
just
yeah.
like bringing into fruition if you're playing an instrument or actually producing like
Ah,
legitimately, but I
shit,
just
man.
mean like creating. Yeah.
I mean, it's been a lot. I take a lot of gigs here and there. Well, let me think. Definitely jazz, definitely rock, definitely folk, hip hop, soul, neo soul. I don't know if you count that differently. Classical music. um, funk. Oh, electronic, obviously, because like my
Hmm.
last album was electronic.
Which
Pop music.
let's show this
Yeah, yeah,
cover real quick. I tried to before. I don't know if it came through or not, but let's just like
yeah. I
take
didn't,
take a gander at it. Um,
man, I'm still so happy with the way that came out.
I'm happy that you wanted to produce this with me. And
Yeah,
I'm also stoked at the way it came out. So um I genuinely appreciated like the when we work together on stuff like this, like we're working on another one now. Um your like openness, you're so much like you want to hear what I have to bring to the table. You have
oh hell
your
yeah,
original idea, but you genuinely want like my expression to come through it also, and that like that to me is a collaboration. That word collab like just gets thrown around nowadays,
yeah,
and it isn't always like honestly a collaboration. Like the way we worked together on this album art was a collaboration. Like we both brought plenty of different things to the table, kind of threw it all in, made something really fucking dope out of it. That I think
yeah.
we both can be proud of. Do you want to maybe describe so like this album in particular and kind of what this album art represented to you?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's about to get heady in here, and this album was a concept album. The genre, I call it "cum" for completely undanceable music. Um, but if you were gonna use like traditional labels, it would be IDM, which I think is a stupid label. It stands for intellectual dance music, which is like just what a fucking stupid name.
That sounds like a snobby ass name in a way.
Right? Yeah, and it's like and even the people who operate in that genre don't like it. Like Aphex Twin and Square Pusher and all those cats, they don't like the word IDM. So that's why I came up with "cum" for completely undanceable music. um,
And that's I feel like that's actually like more suiting to the genre, like the the irony and the humor and the
oh yeah,
acronym, and then
yeah,
the actual mean like what it's saying actually too.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So, anyways, it's a concept album about all the baggage that comes with being an artist, and it was on multiple levels. So there's some symbolism. I'll talk about the symbolism on the cover, and then I'll talk about what I was going through when I made the album itself. Um, this so obviously I'm me. I'm there in the center, getting choked out by Adam. Um, and I represent myself, and this light coming out of me represents like art, I guess, creation. Um, when I guess like the thesis statement of the album itself is about the burden of creation, and on how a lot of levels, like on a cosmic level, creation almost feels like an abomination. Like, who are we as humans to challenge the universe and challenge like, I mean, I don't know if I believe in God, but challenge God to participate in an act of creation ourselves. And in a sense, it almost becomes this Lovecraftian existentialist horror of what does it mean to create. And I was struggling a lot with that when I was making the album. That's also where the name of the album comes from, because "con la voce" means with voice in Italian, and it's a really common marking on sheet music. Like if you're a piano player working with a vocalist, it'll say "con la voce," and it means to follow the vocalist.
Mm. Mm.
Um, but on the album cover, I knew I wanted myself to be in like this sort of submissive position where I was at the hands of someone else to make my art. Um, and I think together we kind of ended up figuring out to go with like this idea of duality, where the Adam, the guy choking me out with the knife, is like this idea of self expectations and the expectations of those who know you, and on the other hand, like tilting my head up to let the art out is like the concept of finance. like the financial motivation to create art, the need to sustain yourself in a capitalist society, and the push of the capitalist machine itself to like force you to create, you know?
Hmm.
Where at a certain point you're not creating of your own volition. It's, it's capitalism tilting your head back and making you throw it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the concept in the way it seems like that concept is relevant in my life, where I feel like I see a lot of like creators and artists who are seemingly solely creating to boost their like personal brand,
Yeah.
whatever that means. they're not
Right.
they're not creating as a modality to express themselves
Yeah,
genuinely.
exactly.
Yeah, which is pretty much everything you just described, but I just wanted to reiterate it because I it comes across to me, like it stands out to me, and um it's almost masterful. So I applaud you at your perception of that and the way you were able to put it into artwork in this way.
Hey, thanks. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially with like the angle on capitalism. I mean, I think like the thing I really try to emphasize when I talk about like burden of creation is that it, again, I mean, it's capitalism, and it's also like your own expectations for yourself and like your friends' expectations for you. It becomes like there's clout chasing, and then there's like toxic productivity because that's what you're supposed to do, and that's
Mm.
what you expect of yourself,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
like, and especially when you live in like, I mean, I'm gonna call it the age of clout, because I think that's what it is. Everyone's trying to get Instagram followers and Facebook friends and Twitter followers. And you know what? That, I mean, I don't blame them, because right now your social media following is your like negotiating power. That's your leverage.
Hmm.
So when you live in this time where your clout is your leverage, it's not just capitalism forcing you into it. It's like your own warped perception of what you expect from yourself. Like a couple months ago, like when I was first starting college, I was putting out a video of me drumming on my Instagram every week, one every week, because that was the schedule I was putting myself on. Not because I wanted to, just because like I know I needed to build up my following if I want to be successful.
Mm.
And it's stressful. And that wasn't, I mean, yeah, it was capitalism imposing a standard on me, but it was also me imposing a standard on myself, forcing myself to create.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people listening to this that I think can relate to that social pressure to create that turns into that self-enforced
Yeah.
pressure. This representation of Adam choking you out in this artwork with holding the knife at his side, I think is a perfect representation of almost what that feels like, right?
Yeah.
Like and it does, I don't know, in my experience it doesn't feel good. It feels really good when I am genuinely feeling productive and I'm not trying to force it out of myself to
Yeah.
create content or express myself one way or another. Like it feels great when it doesn't feel like I have to force myself, but I've had to like I've definitely had to work through over that myself in the process, where like now I genuinely do try to only create when like I feel like it, or I can feel like I'm fulfilling some genuine purpose that or some value or purpose that I hold myself, as opposed to allowing like that outside
Yeah.
pressure to influence when or why I create.
Hmm.
So that's dope. So we'll put this away for now. Very nice. So what take me back to Berklee. What are you hoping to get out of your time at Berklee?
Connections. Yeah.
Network?
I mean, yeah, network. I mean, education's cool and all, but I can self motivate myself to do that stuff if I wanted to.
You have for 15 years?
Yeah, I mean, no one's keeping the information they're teaching secret, and it's like it's really just about the practicality of being a working artist. Who am I gonna know? And I mean, on another level, there is a value to the education where it's like, oh, I'm gonna have teachers who are gonna turn me on to stuff that I wouldn't otherwise get turned on to. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Have you had many, I know you said you haven't spent much time like being taught, but have you had any great teachers that have inspired you or
oh,
influenced your
oh,
music?
fuck yeah, man. Well, I mean, I spent a lot of time being taught. I mean, especially on drums, because I've taken drum lessons almost consistently, like I think almost every week since I was like 7 or 8. I
Even
think.
still to this day?
Oh yeah, well, because I take drum lessons through college. I have to. I
Okay.
mean, and I want to. My drum teacher is like great. He played with Lou Reed for like 30 years or something.
Who's Lou Reed?
Lou Reed? Oh man, he was really influential. I mean, he was in the Velvet Underground, man.
Okay.
And he was friends with like Andy Warhol and David Bowie.
Oh, sick. Okay. So like
Yeah,
real, like,
he's
yeah.
like real shit history of rock music, history of punk, man. Lou Reed. Yeah, I mean I think he actually played with David Bowie. I think he's played with some like really legendary jazz dudes like John McLaughlin and Jan Hammer. Um, yeah, no, I really like my drum teacher, but he's dope. Who are some great mentors I've had? I mean, my high school harmony teacher, man, Adam Conrad, and he's not teaching high school now. He's out in California doing film scoring, but
That's tight.
he was a great. I don't even think of him as a teacher, man. I think of him as like a mentor. You know, he really made the effort to like know me as a person and to know
Mm-hmm.
my strengths and weaknesses, and not just like teach me out of the book. Like he taught me what he knew I needed to know as an
Yeah.
individual, not just
Yeah.
musically, but like as a person.
That 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 is like, I'm hearing an echo now.
Are you?
Yeah, oh, now it's gone.
Okay, cool.
Um Shoot, I lost my thought. But I think that's exciting to imagine like what that type of relationship would be like. I don't know if I haven't personally dedicated myself to anything so specific and taken
Right.
up like with a teacher and had a mentor for an extensive period of time, but it's like something I like long for, right? Like I've said for a long time how amazing it would be to have a mentor to like look up to or to rely on or ask questions to. But I wouldn't know in what capacity a mentor would serve me, right? Because I'm not
Right.
really sure. I understand, I have an idea of what I'm doing, but I don't have it so dialed in as to just music.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I I've been following this dude on Instagram, Lameme Young, who he makes memes, but he's really cool. He does a lot of stuff with like community action, I guess you could call it,
Mm,
as an artist. He's a musician, but it's a concept that applies to all art, honestly. And it's this idea that once you create a community, your peers can also be your mentor. You know,
mm-hmm,
like when you create a sort of egalitarian network of peers, basically everyone mentors everyone. Everyone's giving feedback and answering each other's questions and giving their input on like aesthetics and on practice.
mm.
And at a certain point, the community is your mentor. Like I think when people say that like it takes a village,
That's the
whatever.
first thing I thought of when you said that sentence. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Go
when
ahead.
it takes a village, I don't even necessarily think that it means it takes a lot of individuals to like to create growth, or not even that it like takes a community to create growth. But when you stop when you stop viewing personhood through an individualistic lens and view the community as an individual, as if you personify the community as your mentor, then you realize you've had you've had mentorship a lot longer than you may realize, you know?
Yeah. I think that is actually a useful tool, is to look at communities as individuals, even when you're
Yeah.
trying to like identify a problem.
Oh yeah.
You can take like the needs that an individual would have and look at a community and try to understand what needs aren't being
Oh,
met in this community
fuck
to
yeah.
like I think that is a very useful tool
No.
in way more ways than one. But this idea of it personifying the community as a mentor, I think is powerful, maybe even to teach people young, because it like
Fuck yeah.
it feel like that facilitates this like mindset of openness and um you're not holding yourself above the people around you if you have this attitude of I have something to learn from everything that's surrounding me.
Yeah. Well, and like that's the and you can take this metaphor so far too, because a community is a living, breathing thing, the same way that a body is. You know, like you gotta nourish a community the same way you gotta feed a body, and you gotta maintain a community's organs and its blood vessels and everything that you would do to take care of a body or that a person needs is the same thing that a community needs. I mean, and like take Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? That's not just for an individual. That same thing applies to a community.
Mhm.
That's part of the problem with like American neoliberalism, is that there's such an emphasis on individualism, is that we forget that we're not just ourselves, we're also cells of a community,
Mhm.
you know? We're
Absolutely.
cells of a collective.
I think this is great conversation to have on this platform in particular, because that, I mean, it speaks to the name of this podcast, as in like that idea of we are one is what we're saying right now, is exactly this, is like we are one in the sense that we are one in ourselves, we are one individual, but we are one in the larger sense of we are one being in our individual self is a part of a larger um consciousness
Fuck yeah.
organism, right? Obviously, but
I mean, and like if we're to think of individuals as cells of a body, right? That's the issue with that's the issue with thinking of people as individuals. It's like if your body is sick and you only provide treatment to one cell of your body and then leave the rest untouched, you're gonna stay sick.
hmm
But
yeah,
if you provide help to every cell in your body, you're gonna get better a lot faster than if you just help one cell out.
absolutely.
I'm like, I mean,
That's an argument for not having poor communities in a nation.
yeah, I mean that's an argument for communism, and it's an argument for personal fulfillment too. You know, I mean it all ties together. Like like shit, if you're gonna say that about yourself on an artistic level, you damn well better be sure that you're saying it on an economic level as too. You know, don't be out here like propping up capitalism if you're trying to endorse like collectivism on a social level, on a philosophical level, on an
But
aesthetic and artistic level.
I hear what you're saying, but I think there's something in um because I what I'm thinking is like I don't think we can operate an economy the same way we can operate our we I don't think we can truly operate an economy the same way we can operate our like social spheres, like our sociology. I don't know what I'm saying, but I don't know entirely that like completely jumping ship on capitalism is what is going to deliver us to like a better future.
I mean, I don't think jumping ship all at once is the right answer, but I think I think it has to be a somewhat gradated change. But also, I think that a continued pursuit of capitalist liberalism and neoliberalism is going to be counterproductive, especially in an age with the rise of fascism. Because what we have to realize about fascism, and yes, the conversation does have to be about fascism, no matter what you do, because both fascism and communism historically were reactions to the failures of liberalism and neoliberalism, or not neoliberal. It wasn't a reaction to neoliberalism, but neoliberalism has a lot of the same problems as liberalism. Um, so if fascism is a reaction to the failure of liberalism, the way to eradicate fascism isn't going to be by doubling down on liberalism.
Mm-hmm.
That it's going to doubling down on liberalism is only going to drive a wedge further and further between fascism and communism until
don't we, wouldn't we say that's what we're seeing right now is a doubling down on what?
liberalism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
we
and
just elected Joe Biden,
and
who's
a reaction that is more severe than any we've seen in our lifetimes.
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying that by sticking with capitalism in a liberalist form, we're only going to make the fascism problem worse, because fascism is a response to exactly what's wrong with what we're doubling down on, which is neoliberal capitalism. So the way to subvert fascism is going to be with socialism or communism. To me, and anyone who's listening to this is allowed to have a different opinion than me, because
I don't know. I don't know that I agree myself, but
yeah, I mean, that's chill.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not even the best person to speak on this. I have my opinions and they're mine, but I'm not going to say that you need to have the same opinion as me.
Right.
But it seems to me that we've reached a point societally, particularly in America, where it's a fork. Liberalism isn't going to be able to sustain, I don't think. And it seems to me that we're at the breaking point where either we're heading towards fascism or we're heading towards socialism or communism. And I know which path I'd rather take.
I just think of communism and socialist failures of the past.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think either route is a route that I would prefer to take.
I think when you talk about the historic failures of communism, it's also really important to consider external um, factors. And to be clear, I don't really endorse any of the communism that's been tried in the past. All the communism that's been tried so far in the world, with maybe one or two exceptions, has been authoritarian capitalism, like Russia, Cuba, and
China.
China. Well, China's not even communist at this point. At this point, China's just heavily
Authoritarian.
I mean, good.
Authoritarian capitalists. Like they have a free
Yeah,
flow economy.
Yeah, and I mean they have entire like basically slave cities for American corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't I whatever though. I personally endorse anarcho communism, which is more along the lines of syndicalism, and I mean there's argument about what it means to necessarily abolish statehood, but anyways, it's more focused on community than it is on individualism, which is, I think, part of where authoritarian communism fails.
It fails to lift up batches of community. Is that what you're implying?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's a type of communalism, but a type of communalism that's not centered on individual fulfillment or on any fulfillment, but more on just proving that communism works. I mean, the thing you have to understand about communism that has been tried is that almost all of it was greatly affected by the Cold War, in a place where it's really easy to say, oh, capitalism won the Cold War because it's a better system. I
No,
think
no one won the Cold War. The Cold War
yeah, I
never
mean,
ended.
yeah, exactly. I think there's an argument to be made that the reason capitalism sort of came out on top of the Cold War is because it had just already been around and it was established.
Mm.
Communism was fighting an uphill battle. And when you look at the amount of times that democratically elected communist governments were overthrown by coups backed by the US government, particularly the CIA, I think it's pretty understandable to look at why a lot of instances of communism didn't quite work, because the democratically
They were
elected ones
they
were
were dead
immediately,
dead on arrival.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, damn, I watched this movie about it in one of my history classes, but God, some of the shit is so fucked up that the CIA did to intervene. I mean, like even to the point of like boosting like fully unethical wars, like the Vietnam War. Like, and I'm not about to try and explain the Vietnam War because I don't fucking understand it. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you look at the financial backing that America threw into defeating communism, it's pretty understandable why a lot of it got fucked up.
Mm.
and and even like relatively successful iterations of it, like Cuba, I mean, they've had an embargo on them since the 60s, barring them from like medical supplies and technology and a lot of imports from their closest like shipping neighbor, you know.
Do you think it's possible, in just in your outlook of the world, to have like an ethical progressive capitalism? Or
I don't know.
you could just sit with ethical capitalism, conscious capitalism. Is that even possible under the rules of the game,
I don't know.
in your opinion?
I think maybe. I don't know. I, I don't think that it's possible from here at this point. I think we're working against too many institutions and too many systems that are already firmly in place that
Have proven to have more power than our centralized government.
I think one of those the things I'm talking about is the centralized government. I think that maybe that progressive ethical capitalism is possible, but I definitely don't think it's possible if we're trying to get there by modifying the system we already have. I think if we were going to try to do that, we'd have to start from scratch.
Hmm. So, so Ari, you're obviously intelligent, and I when we've gotten together in the past, I've enjoyed our conversations when we just like speculate and kind of go back and forth
Yeah.
with things like this. But like, when, in what ways? Because, well, okay, so for you, it's music, and it sounds like history.
Nah, nah, I don't give
And
a shit about history.
so, in what ways have you like managed, like, have you just become curious of things and read, like myself, on some of those other topics? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
or
I think I started learning about communism when I was in like third grade. I read this book that it was like called like 30-second economics or something, and it explained it to me, and I just kept reading from there. And I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm 100% right or that I'm unbiased or anything. I mean, I went to like arts arts high school and got radicalized by my friends and shit.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I I'm from a fairly progressive part of the country with a progressive family who don't necessarily endorse communism, but they endorse a lot of the ideals of communism, and it's I don't know. I learn different people who are smarter than I am mostly. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know that much about economics or history. I just am able to talk like I do.
See, that's I in some ways there's things I think about, but I might refrain from talking about because I'm not educated on the level that I would be able to like really even uphold an argument for anything. So I do rely on people smarter than me to
Yeah, I feel you.
break down some of these conversations and like like what the pros and cons of communism are, what's dangerous about socialism,
Yeah.
why capitalism has managed to build such a high quality of life for a large portion of the world.
Well, I think the reason, yeah, yeah, we ain't gotta get
Yeah,
into
we don't have to
talk
get into it. It's just like,
about.
yeah. But so okay, so another thing about you, Ari, um,
Yeah,
you are autistic,
yeah, I am.
and so how are you considered? Are you like highly functioning autistic, or like what would the diagnosis be?
Autism. Um, I, traditionally, I think I'd be labeled high functioning, but a lot of autistic people don't really like the rhetoric of high functioning versus low functioning.
Right.
It's divisive, and both it's ableist towards both high functioning and low functioning people, in that it enables ableism towards low functioning people in a very direct way where they can be discriminated against very directly, and it is ableist towards high functioning people in that it invalidates their needs and accommodations by making it out to be oh, you're high functioning, why do you need support, why do you need all this stuff. And I think a better way to look at autism is more a wheel of symptoms, sort of like a color wheel,
Mm-hmm.
like for digital color.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a better way to look at it, because you can be, if we look at like the three sort of main categories for autistic symptoms, it manifests as social issues, cognitive issues, and sensory issues, right? So if you have this wheel, oh shit, if you have this wheel with these 3 points on it, you can be anywhere on that wheel, closer or further from any of those points, with more intensity based on how in or out of the circle you are, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if we're looking at it that way, I have some light cognitive issues and some medium heavy social and sensory issues. That's
Do
that's how
so
I would.
so in what ways, thank you for the well thought out response,
Yeah,
but it
absolutely.
in what ways like do you feel, or obviously you don't know how I perceive the world, but
Right.
I myself, not being autistic, what ways do you think that your perception of the world might vary from mine? Or maybe not even perception, maybe just simply your experience of the world.
Yeah. I well, I'll start with perception and then go to experience, I guess. Which I guess are sort of the same thing, but I'm just gonna organize my thoughts however the fuck I feel like it. um, I we're talking in a very literal way. I hear more than I think neurotypical people do, because of my sensory stuff. Like like I remember I couldn't. I mean, I already have really bad sleep issues, man, where I'm horrible in insomnia, and then I have a really hard time waking up. But I remember as a kid, before I kind of learned how to tune out background noise, I would stay awake for like days at a time because the clock in my room would tick,
Mm.
and I was so fully and highly aware of that ticking that I couldn't fall asleep.
Oh man.
And that's like still true. Like right now in my room, like I can hear the furnace in the background and like the hissing of my speakers, even though they're off or they're not being used. And I can hear a fly buzzing, I think 2 rooms from there, and I can hear the lights buzzing. And I'm really highly aware of it all. It's just as loud to me as like your voices, you
Wow.
know?
That
Yeah.
is very hard to imagine. So not only like the volume that you hear it at? Do you think you are
Or
actually
it's
sensing like sounds at a
no,
lower?
I think anyone could sense them, and it's not even that they're louder for me or that the volume as your voice was the same word, but they're at the same level of my awareness as your voice. You know,
Okay. Yep. That's a difference than the way I
like
got it at first.
a lot of neurotypical people, and I myself too, access that state of mind through meditation.
Hmm.
You sit and you close my eyes and you dedicate all your attention to feeling what's around you. And I think that's part of being autistic, is that you don't necessarily have to meditate for that. Or at least for my autism, I'm just always in this constant state of feeling everything around me as at the same level of awareness as I would feel the like things I'm supposed to be focusing on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you feel, have you experienced like what some may, one of like the almost like stereotypes of autism is like a hyperfixation on a skill or task? Like, do you feel like you've experienced that with maybe music particularly?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Dude, I play like 6 instruments and I've been doing it for since I was like shit, like 15 years. And I'll spend like 7 hours a day practicing. I mean, part of that is just me choosing to work hard, but also part of that is me willing to fixate. And a lot of the stuff I do starts out as a fixation, and then it stops being a fixation. Like I'll get really into like Bulgarian folk music for
It
like
seems
a month.
so niche.
Oh yeah, dude, I actually fucking love Bulgarian folk music. It's dope as shit. But I
That's
like I
interesting.
got into Bulgarian folk music for like a month, like a year and a half ago, and now it's part of my music rotation. And I don't like hyperfixate on it the same way I was for that month, because for that month that was like the main music I listened to.
Hmm.
But like now it's just part of my rotation. Or like same shit happened with like Afro-Cuban music, or with like mixing. Like I've been fixated with mixing the last month or two. And I mean, and I was already good at mixing. I was already into it, but I got refixated on it. And then when this fixation is over, I'll go for a while without fixating again, and then I'll get another one, and I'll get really good at something, and then I just incorporate it all into my set of skills.
Yeah, yeah.
It in some ways it's like really nice because it's a really cool way to just like develop a skill super fast.
Get good at something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel frustrating.
I think in one way, my like what drove me to be an addict in some ways is maybe a low level of the what we're talking about, the way you get hyper fixated on things. Because I've had that experience where like when I picked up my camera for the first time and I decided I wanted to start taking pictures, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, this is going to be a way that I express myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like, that was like all I thought about. That was like all I wanted to do. That was what I was, like you said, I was willing to get fixated on. It didn't
Yeah.
matter anything else. But it's almost like I'm almost like envious that you can sit down and spend 7 hours a day on your music. Because I've had days that I sit down and I spend long periods of time on something specific, but I
Right.
don't do it necessarily consistently. Like
Yeah.
this is you all day, almost every single day.
Yeah. Somewhere from like five, it's anywhere from like 5 to 14 hours that I'll just go straight.
That's that's wild. And so you're like, man, at this point in your life, you got to be well over like the 10,000 hours.
Maybe. I mean, the thing about the 10,000 hours is that like that has to be 10,000 hours of constructive practice,
Where you're fucking
like
around a lot of your time, kind of like playing with
I don't
things.
know
And
about fucking around, but doing stuff I already know how to do towards an end goal.
got you.
But, not necessarily. Have you ever heard of the 80-20 rule?
No.
It's 80% of practice is only going to be minorly effective, and 20% is going to be big revelations and big bounds forward, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if I've spent 10,000 hours and it's the 80-20 rule, then like, I don't, 10,000
So
hours,
it's only
then it's like,
2,000 hours of real constructive, like, revelation type of exercise.
yeah, I mean, you know, probably more than that. I mean, it's like a general rule. And even then, you know, it's split between like 6 different instruments and also producing and mixing and writing and, you know, composition. And I mean, there's a lot of different areas that go into music, you know? I
Yeah,
mean, a lot of learning an instrument is almost like athletic, you know? A lot of the same research that they do in sports psychology applies to learning an instrument, you know?
interesting.
Um, it's like muscle memory and building up speed, and building up the reliability and repeatability of an action.
Hmm. And like flow state, that's what I think of too. Like
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
had some of my best sports performances when I'm in this state where like I spent all day visualizing what was going to happen on the field, and then I get on the field and exactly what I visualized happens.
Yeah, see. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, if you're looking at 10,000 hours, I mean, how much of it is that? And then how much of it is like, oh, I'm going to learn like different grooves on the drum set? And how much of it is like, oh, what's like an artistic way to use this fill? What's a musical way to use this fill? You know, how
Hmm.
much of it is like learning restraint and taste and style versus, so it's like even in just one area of practice, there's so many categories that go into it that could each be their own 10,000 hours.
Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
I just got smacked with a big old yawn.
I
Um,
feel you.
do so do you feel like like I mean, because autism is considered a disability, do you feel disabled by it?
Yeah, yes.
In what ways?
There are a lot of ways that I can't interact with the world that neurotypical people can, or a lot of things that are a lot harder for me. I get like pretty bad executive dysfunction. So that makes stuff like, you know, planning for class schedules and stuff like a real challenge for me. Or like going through paperwork, even if I just have to sign my name, you know. Um, I mean, the sensory stuff too. Like one thing that fucked me up is that there's this show that's supposed to be like a really positive portrayal of autism called the Summing of the Dog in the Night. I can't remember what it's called. My mom wanted to take me to it on its like touring run or something, and I was like, no, because the show has like lots of flashing lights to simulate sensory overload, and in doing that, they accidentally keep people who actually get sensory overload from going to see it.
Yeah. So was the intention of that film to like show a neurotypical person like myself what it may be like to experience the world
No,
from?
I think it's like a drama, but I think they were trying to like show what the autistic character was going through.
Okay, gotcha.
There's a lot of other ways that I have a like social stuff too. Like I get social anxiety. My autism isn't just autism. My autism comes with ADHD and depression and anxiety too. You know, I mean, but the social stuff is hard for me sometimes. Understanding like social cues and the point of a lot of social norms.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, if I'm if I'm gonna like talk about it in an objective way instead of my subjective experiences, it's like only 5% of people with ADHD graduate college, and I think the number is around the same for the amount of autistic people who are employed, who have steady
Mm.
employment. It's like 5 or 10%. Um,
Do you think that that low employment rate is more so a like a shortcoming of society in general and like not meeting the needs of autistic people in the workplace, or not providing like places where like an autistic person can work effectively and do a task, or is it deeper than just that?
I think it's multiple things, but I think it's largely the first thing you said. Um, it, and this is true for almost any mental illness you can think of, is that workplaces aren't accommodating because capitalism inherently places your value as an individual based on your ability to be productive,
Hmm.
right? So like let's take a job I actually had so I can like speak from experience. I worked at Arby's when I was 16. Like, what were the accommodations for when I was like having sensory issues? There weren't any. And or what were the accommodations available to me if I had a panic attack that was completely out of my control and not my fault?
Mm,
There wasn't anything. And it's, I mean, you know how it can be. If you have a panic attack on the job, you can get fired.
right.
I didn't get fired. I quit eventually, but like I'm lucky I was able to get through all this stuff that my autism threw at me, because I'm like, I have pretty good coping skills, but that's not true for everyone. And that for some people it's not necessarily going to be ever in their ability to necessarily control everything that gets thrown at them. So you have all these people with needs that aren't being met, and then because their needs aren't being met, they're viewed as less valuable to the machine that they're participating in, and it results in them having a hard time getting employed. And even more than that, it's like a lot of the pointless social stuff. I mean, okay, going beyond just needs not being met, like there's a lot of little ways that it's harder for like autistic people to get work. You know, like interviews. Like if my social skills aren't on point in an interview, and a lot of the social norms for interviews are like pretty arbitrary, man,
Hmm.
and kind of pointless. It's
It's like you're taking on the role of like sales uh
a salesperson for
representative.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and if you don't understand all the social things that means, then you can be fucked, you know.
Right. Yeah. It is hard to imagine going into an interview, because I like, in some ways I take pride in my interview skills. Not I'm hoping not to have to interview for another job again in my life, but I take pride in my ability to sell myself, but it is hard to imagine um missing out some of those social cues, like um I guess what are some, give me some examples of the ones that you don't necessarily grasp yourself or understand, or like you said are pointless or arbitrary from your point of view.
Well, okay, I'm I'm pretty good in interviews. I'm Again, I've been really lucky with the support I have gotten throughout my life with my autism, and I've managed to learn a lot of the arbitrary social skills that shouldn't be a standard in the first place, but a lot of the ones that like don't make sense to me but I can abide by, like dress code for an interview. What's the point? Like, I get the idea to make you come off as professional,
Hmm.
and you can try and explain it. I've had so many people try and explain this to me, and it won't ever make sense to me. It's just, why does what you're wearing have any impact on how they perceive you professionally? Just because someone a long time ago was like, I want people to wear this to my job, then other people are like, oh, I also want everyone to wear a button down and a tie to my job. Oh, I also want everyone to, and to the point where that just became the standard. Why is that any more professional than t-shirt and jeans? Is it because it's more uncomfortable? Like,
I think there's just something about being sharp and damper that is appealing to uh like the image of a company,
yeah,
or
but why
like,
is that more sharp or dapper than any other well put together outfit?
that you realistically, that's a great question. I find myself honestly wondering um something similar to that, being like, well,
I understand. I understand that part of it is like they want to see you put effort into your appearance.
Right. But why can't you do that with like a nice pair of blue jeans and a t-shirt, like put together some, but it's
Sure.
different. It's different. They,
But
the
part of
styles represent different things, right?
part of autism is like just being able to kind of a lot of the times inherently understand, even if you can't put words to it, what is and isn't a social construct.
Mm.
And part of being autistic is that almost everything on a social level is a social construct. You know, nothing means anything aside from the meaning we give to it. And even then, if we're to say, okay, so for an interview, let's say that wasn't the norm, and the norm was just you have to look well put together, like you put effort into your appearance,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not
I'd be
fucked up
wearing
on a
such
social
different
level.
things.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, I wear a black T-shirt and blue jeans every day. I'd
I got
iron
my
my
black
T-shirt.
t-shirt on, dog. Me too.
Yeah, see, but like, what about people who are have a hard time due to a disability with grooming and hygiene? You
Mm.
know, what if like I'm just saying there's a lot to be accounted for that people go through that is not well accommodated by the job interviewing process and then having a job after that. And a lot of it is just because of arbitrary social ideas that we impose on people just because they've been there for so long. I mean, another thing that I think doesn't make sense is the idea of like gendered clothing. And this isn't really with regard to a job, but you know, it is because if you are male passing or like male presenting and you show up to like an office job in gender non-conforming clothes, like you're probably gonna get discriminated against. That's just how it fucking works, you know. But it's like the idea of gendered clothing makes absolutely no sense to me. Why are like pants any more male than female, or skirts are any more female than male? If you were to look at it from a purely anatomical perspective, if you have a penis, then a skirt would be more comfortable than a fucking pants. A dress would be, and vice versa. You know, or did you know that up until I think the 1910s, or maybe it was the 1890s or some shit, but did you know that pink was the color considered male and blue was the color considered female?
Really?
And that,
Until
yeah,
when? Until the
I think,
90s?
I think it was the 1890s,
Oh, the 18. What? So, um,
and then it just
what?
switched for no reason.
What? I mean, some reason,
And
something caused it. Probably a company.
no, it wasn't a company. It was just people started giving their kids gender non-conforming clothes until that became the new norm.
Hmm.
And when I was reading an article about this, it showed an article from 1980 talking about why blue was the male color and why pink was the female color. And it said pink is soft and unopposing, and blue is assertive and strong, like a man. Ooga
That's
booga,
that.
right?
That just sounds dumb to me, and I'm not extreme on this topic
Yeah,
necessarily.
that's dumb. And get ready for
I
this.
love the
It
color pink.
it also showed an article from 1870 that used the exact same descriptors but reversed.
That's funny.
Right. Like there's no gender isn't real. Nothing
Hold on.
nothing fucking
So
exists.
you keep riffing. I keep shaking my legs and shit because I have to piss really bad. So
Yeah, go piss.
go ahead, keep talking though. I'll be right back.
Go piss.
If you want,
Nah, I'm gonna
um,
wait for you. I'm gonna wait for you.
you can tease a little bit your next album and album art that we're gonna be working on if you want to talk about the concept behind it a little bit.
Nah, let me wait till you get back.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Play some keys then maybe for the meantime
Yeah, all right.
because I'm not hitting pause, so I don't want to just be awkward silent.
All right, bet. Oh, I gotta go take my Prozac.
All right, everybody, gather round.
Scared the fuck out of me.
I was sitting here for a while just listening to you. I was gonna
Oh
try
shit.
I was gonna try and like just talk over the keyboard and sound like we're in like a jazz club and we're bringing everyone back to their tables for a performance.
Uh,
But
no, I ain't even hear you come up.
no, hey, it's fun to watch you do your thing.
Okay.
Um, so do you want to tease a little bit your upcoming project at all?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Let me hear the concept going into this one.
This one's definitely less of a concept album than the last one, but I'm just in love, y'all. I got me a partner who I like very much, and I like them enough to write a bunch of songs about them. And it's a bunch of pop songs. I know I was just playing jazz, but this is a pop album mixed with like 16 other genres.
I feel like pop is like the wrong lead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the vibe I'm trying it's more like hyper pop, um but also it takes from a lot of different areas of pop, but I think hyper pop is the way to go with it. And also there's no real word for what I'm making, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
there's
can't put Ari's music in a box.
no.
This
Yeah.
is ungenred.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some of it is pop. Like there's one song on there that just straight up sounds like a Lady Gaga joint.
Is this your first piece of work with vocals on it?
No, I've never released like an entire album with vocals, but I've released like singles before. Actually, the one with that art that I was talking to you about, that painter did for me, that one had vocals on it.
Okay.
That one's kind of like a folk song, or like indie folk singer songwriter type thing.
I'm absolutely so fascinated by your ability to operate within so many different genres.
I just listen to a lot of music, y'all.
I think so you're influenced by a lot of different music.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've never been able to just like listen to one genre. Now, sometimes I'll go through phases with genres, but I listen to like a new playlist every day with my own music, or not my own music, but like my choice in music. You know?
Yeah, your selections.
Yeah, like I have all my playlists organized by genre, and I don't think I ever listen to the same playlist 2 days in a row.
Hmm.
And it's good because it's fine. I don't get bored of the playlist because each one of them is like 3 days worth of music. I think like they're all like 78 hours long playlists.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah,
I I want to make a song. I've had this want for a long time.
yeah.
Where do I start?
Just making a song.
Yeah.
You start by
Wait.
writing it.
Okay. So write
You
the
write that
song.
shit. Write the
Okay.
song.
So like, I know not every song is a concept, but I have to begin to like conceptualize it, right? Like,
On it. That's a you know that's what I think part of the beautiful thing about being a composer is that everyone has a different process.
mm,
I and like even my process changes from like album, like on this album I start every song with just the title, and then I build up from the title. And then I know other people who write the entire instrumental first and then write vocals later and then do the lyrics, you know?
mm,
But I think the first place that everyone starts essentially is the emotion. You decide what emotion you want to make, you know, or what you want to express.
I'm feeling. I want to express excitement, optimism, and tragedy. What does that sound like to you?
All at the same time.
In one piece of work, let's just call it one track, like somehow conveying those emotions in one track.
Ooh. Let me think. Do you know the song "Jump for My Love" by Sisters? Or no, it's by the Pointer Sisters.
Jump.
Jump for My Love.
No, should I play it?
Yeah,
I,
that
I
song
can
feels like that to me.
I can play just like a snippet of it. Should I just play like the first 10 seconds in the beginning?
Yeah,
All right. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, unfortunately.
that's chill.
'Cause
I know.
I don't have Soundflower. So
Yeah.
all right. All right. Wait, could you hear it?
Nah.
Okay, okay. Here, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. So I'm getting like heartbreak vibes over this like almost like disco up tempo.
Yeah.
So I one thing I don't know if I talked about it with you, but someone I was talking to with recently is like there's a lot of music that is like very ironic.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the lyrics do not match, kind of like that, and what we're saying of having like excitement and tragedy in a song. Like the
Yeah.
lyrics don't match the emotion that you would assume it to be conveying.
Oh yeah. All the time. I mean, I think a lot of the times irony is like a songwriter's best weapon because it conveys a more nuanced opinion than you can do without irony. Like a really famous example is "Born in the USA" by Bruce Springsteen. People misunderstand that song, and I'm not like a Bruce Springsteen fan, but I know that song. People misunderstand that song and play it at like 4th of July gatherings and like as a song for patriotism. But like if you listen to that song, Bruce Springsteen is not a fan of the U.S.
No, it can break that down for me further. Then this might be a little snippet for us because this is some fun context.
What about Born in the USA?
Yeah, in what way is it misconstrued, and
Well,
how
people,
is it not necessarily representation of what people think it is?
well, you know it's Bruce Springsteen, so there's already this assumption that it's going to be like. I mean, you kind of got to know who Bruce Springsteen's fan base is, which is like baby boomers, especially ones from New Jersey, because he's from New Jersey, I think. But like baby boomers, and it tends to be this like classic rock, yeah, cool 108 type crowd. And you know, those people tend to be very much like, yeah, America, the troops or whatever, you know. And if no matter who you are, you project your values onto the celebrities who you like, you know. And when they turn out to have different values than you, a lot of the time it's a shock. So you have all these um, yeah, America people projecting their opinions onto Bruce Springsteen, who did this very ironic song "Born in the USA," where I think the like album cover music video or something, it's like lots of American flags and denim and you know American iconography, whatever. So people make the assumption that it's you know born in the USA, fuck yeah, America, fuck yeah, and it's actually just like a song that's shitting on America. And no one realizes it because they don't bother to actually listen to what Bruce Springsteen is really saying. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
I just wanted to pull it up for the people watching on YouTube so they can see what the album cover actually is. But go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, so I mean, you look at that and you're thinking, yeah, it's like American iconography. You know, he's got the blue jeans, he's got like the vaguely like westerny biker belt and the white T-shirt, and you see that, and you know that's everything that the people who that's everything that Bruce Springsteen's fan base thinks the American dream is. You know, like it's the same as like showing like a Confederate flag to like a Pantera fan,
Mm.
or the same as showing like I don't know an Antifa fan or an Antifa flag to a no name fan. Yeah, but if you like
I'm curious. So, okay, so walk me through like in the lyrics.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's a Vietnam protest song, or I'm pretty sure it's like a song that was a reaction to the Vietnam War. Like he's talking about like someone who had a brother who was fighting in Nam, and he goes down to the VA and stuff.
Yeah. Got in a little hometown jam, so they put a rifle in my hand. Sent me off to a foreign land to go and kill the yellow man. I don't know if that's how it goes. That's how I imagine it goes.
I can't remember how the verses go. This
Come
isn't
back home to the refinery. Hiring man says, son, if it was up to me, I'd go down to see the VA man. He said, son, don't you understand? Okay,
yes,
so go ahead.
yeah. I mean, it's almost like similar vibes to "Fortunate Son" by Creedence Clearwater Revival. You know, it's almost that same
That
vibe of
is
like
way over my head.
that's like the Vietnam protest song, man.
Okay.
I'm sure you've definitely heard it. But that song's like in every Vietnam movie. It's like now 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 now.
Oh, yeah. They're
Oh,
like flying in on a
raise a
helicopter.
flag. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
And
that red, white,
literally,
and blue. Yeah. So it's like that,
yeah.
and that song's about like how fucked up the draft was, right? And that song became like the face of Vietnam like protest. And like Born in the USA almost has like a similar message and vibe to that song. But all these people who are into Bruce Springsteen, because he didn't outright say this is a Vietnam protest song and he coded it in irony, you have all these people playing it at like 4th of July barbecues thinking it's like some patriotic act of good old boyness.
Hmm.
But it's not. It's a criticism of the American government.
That's fascinating. Thanks for the
Yeah.
context. Yeah, for the
Yeah.
music history.
Yeah, no.
Um,
Irony is powerful, man. I mean, and like you can even look at it on like more subtle levels, like lyrics by like Ben Fold. Ben Folds, like he or Steely Dan too. I mean, I'm only really talking about rock examples right now, but there, I mean, if you were to look at hip hop examples, it's even more obvious. How people use irony to convey their point.
give me a hip hop example. I'm having trouble coming up with one myself.
Oh shit! Give me a hip hop. Off the top of my head. Damn. Okay. Jesus is the one. I got depression by Zach Fox. That whole song is just a joke.
Is that a rap song
Yeah,
or
yeah,
hip hop?
yeah, yeah. It's
It's
like it's
called.
like a weird trap one off, and
Okay.
he makes some like really pointed statements about Palestine, but the rest of the song is it ends with him being like, "I'm gonna make a dude suck Dorito dust off the tip of my dick." I think, like, but there's another line where it's like, "R.I.P. Betty White. She ain't dead yet, but for when she died, because you know it's coming up though."
That's funny. Okay.
Or like, or what was the other example I was thinking? It's that Kanye song. I want to see the hang-ups we have today. Come on, it's Scoopity Poop. Whoop, whoop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but like
Scoop
he
whoopty whoop.
yeah he released that song because I think he just wanted to fuck with Drake, because Drake said he wanted that beat, so Kanye made a song with it first
Okay.
and then put bullshit
And
lyrics
then
over.
just made some like made.
Yeah,
He's like, oh, Drake wanted this. Like, let me sound
yeah.
like
I
Drake.
mean, maybe irony isn't the right word there, but sardonicism, I guess.
What?
Like,
Break that down. What sardonicism?
yeah, like being sardonic.
What does that mean, bro?
It's like subtly and somewhat like not maliciously, but somewhat like pointedly being ironic, I guess. Oh, that's a hard word to define. Hold up, let me look that shit up. Let me see what the dictionary definition is.
It almost sounds like trolling.
Sardonic definition: grimly mocking or cynical.
So yeah, troll.
Yeah, mocking, satirical, sarcastic, ironic, cynical.
Sardonicism. Sardonic. Interesting.
Yeah.
You teach me all kinds of stuff today.
I like that word because it has a really, I think it's more nuanced than just saying like sarcastic or ironic. But I
You-
think like the best lyric writers have this sort of underlying tone of sardonicism that adds a lot to lyrics. I mean, it's there in Paul Simon's music, Bob Dylan's music,
That's
MF.
the first one I thought of when you started saying that. Sorry, go ahead.
Bob Dylan or Paul Simon?
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, no, absolutely Bob Dylan. I mean, a lot of his shit has like this underlying like sort of like haha fuck you ness to it. Like, I think MF Doom lyrics also have a lot of that. Um, I think
R.I.P.
Freddie Gibbs, yeah, like even Nas to some extent.
What's your
Yeah,
favorite Nas song?
probably what? Oh God, It's either "World Is Yours" or it's "New York State of Mind," which I know are really basic picks for favorite Nas songs.
Yeah, kind of, but it's okay.
Yeah, but I really like those. I really like those songs.
I really like Rewind.
Yep. Also,
Um,
I know that album he came out with really recently. It wasn't that well received, but I actually really like that track that starts off by sampling the Richard Pryor bit. It's like cop shot the kid, a cop shot the kid, a cop shot the, you know.
oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I've listened to that project, but I've heard that song.
Yeah, I like that. I like that track a lot.
Oh wait, that's not even recent, right?
No,
You
it was
just
a
mean
few
his.
years ago now.
Okay, yeah, okay, I gotcha.
But like,
Because I almost like I listened to that album in my teenage years. That's like 2005. I feel like
which one? Illmatic?
no,
Or no, the one with cop shot the kid?
yeah,
Fuck, I don't even know. Wait, cop shot the kid. I thought it
I
was like
could be way off
2016 or something. Let's see.
because there was Illmatic, Stillmatic, and
Oh,
then
it was 2018.
oh really?
Yeah.
Damn, that is a false memory of mine. That feels like a it feels older than that.
Yeah.
Um,
And also the main reason I'm really into World Is Yours is because that song turned me on to a really great album by the Ahmad Jamal Trio. Because it samples I Love Music by the Ahmad Jamal Trio. And then that turned me on to the album, I think Revelation, which is a really just a really standout like jazz trio album. It's like one of my favorite piano trio albums of all time.
have you ever listened to the Andrew Jackson Jihad?
Nah.
No, okay. They make very ironic music too. I just thought of it now for I mean, you could hear that in their title,
Yeah.
the name of their band. They
Yeah.
they have this. They have like this intro to this album, and it's like the Michael Jordan of drunk driving played his final game tonight. It's super funny. But yeah. Well, all right, shit. We've talked for a while. Do you got anything else on your mind that from our conversation that you want to talk a little bit more about? I'm not in a rush to get out of here. I think I'm already too
I'm
late
not in
to
a rush,
go to
but also
Lifetime.
I ain't got anything pressing my mind.
Yeah, I'm chilling,
Yeah.
vibing. Do you feel like do you because you're you have an ability to retain information and recall that stands out to me.
Right.
Do you feel like that is just like intelligence, or is that a part of your autism
I don't think that's anything. I think I just got lucky.
to have? I mean, and
Information recall.
yeah, because do you? Okay, so part of your autism affects your cognition. You kind of alluded to before. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think the ways it affects my cognition are more like executive dysfunction and like a lot of autistic people have like a hard time reading if things are in certain fonts.
Okay.
You know, it's more like a processing stuff. than it is like intelligence, I think.
Then it is like retention and comprehension.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it affects that somehow, but I don't know how. I think I don't know. People call me intelligent. I don't think I'm that intelligent,
I mean,
but enough people have
no,
said
I
it.
don't.
I'm
If
sure that.
someone thinks that they're intelligent, I'm gonna say, no, you're a fucking dumbass. Shut up. Like. So
I
that's sign number one that you might have something going on up there.
I don't know. The thing my mom always used to say to me when I was a kid, because I used to think I was intelligent. I used to think I was really intelligent. The thing she would say to me is, "Genius is as genius does, and intelligence is as intelligence does." And I don't think I've done anything to warrant those terms. Like, even if I do have like better baseline stats than some people, even if I like have better memory or information retention or stuff, I don't think I've done anything to like earn being called intelligent. So that's where I stand on it. But with information recall, definitely part of it is also music. Like, I know scientifically music is supposed to improve that part of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly like with music, because I think that's where like my ability to retain information really comes through, is when I'm like choosing songs. Because like I I can like put together songs in a way that flows well, because I'm able to remember. I'm able to just like pull a song out of my ass that I'm like, oh, this would work well after this one, and I can get a really good flow going. And I think I've been doing that for so long, just like playing music in the car and like trying to recall different music, doing that every day, just in my headphones and shit. I think I've done that so long since I was a kid that it's just improved my information recall in other parts of my life too.
Sounds like it'd be rather fun to have you DJ a party or something then.
I'd probably. I mean, I feel like my taste is like too eclectic for parties, because I can
That's
like,
fun. I don't want to hear what I'm expecting to hear.
yeah, but
I want
I'll
to catch a vibe with some shit I've never heard before. Be
yeah,
like,
but like
yo,
half
this.
half the time I'll start on DMX and then end on like Java gamelan ritual music, you know?
It goes from like where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at to like.
Yeah. I think I was actually at a party once and someone just gave me the aux. I ended up playing like Georgian female choir unaccompanied music and
That's did it
Gregorian plain chant.
did it fit the vibe at least? Like, or was it?
No.
It was not well
This
received.
this this well,
Were
I
you
don't
trying to be ironic?
no, I wasn't. That's just genuinely the music I listen to sometimes.
It's
It
funny.
was very much like a red cup, beer pong type party, because it wasn't with kids from my art school. It was with some public school kids who I didn't know that well. And I don't think anyone was really listening, but it definitely
Do
didn't
you
fit the vibe.
do you look down on public school kids?
No, no, of course not.
Okay.
No, but like I think art school kid parties tend to be different from like public school parties.
Yeah.
It just that it's like the public school parties I've been to very much feel like high school parties out of movies, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And
I feel like art school parties would be more dangerous.
they feel that way. It's usually like six people sitting in someone's bedroom and they're passing around like a bottle of like vodka and another bottle of like some shitty red wine, and it's just like you end up talking about like performance art.
Hmm.
Or it's like a lot of parties. I'm not even sure if you can call them parties, because a lot of the times it feels like it happens at like house venues.
It's a kickback.
Yeah, honestly. Right? It's just like a show in someone's basement where everyone's hanging out, you
Okay.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I can picture that.
Like,
Well,
I
oh,
don't know,
good.
it's just a very different vibe.
Between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. When can listeners expect to, maybe if they come follow you and are anticipating your new music, when can they expect that to drop?
I'm hoping to release this album sometime in February, probably mid-February. You can stay up to date with my release schedule on my Instagram, which is at Ari Pent, Aripent.
And he posts a bunch of funny ass memes also.
I post a lot of memes on my story because I'm too depressed to do anything better with my time. So if you need to
Damn, bro.
kill a couple hours, visit my story, Instagram story.
It's fun because some of them really are gonna force you to think, like, what is this saying? There's definitely been some I had to skip because I was stumped.
There's a lot of niche shit on there,
like references and stuff. So yeah,
Right.
check out hit up Ari on Instagram at Ari Pent, like you said, ARIPENT. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I think I do. I don't really use it, but
Okay.
you know, if I post something on YouTube, I'll probably let y'all know on Instagram. So hit me up on Instagram. Hey, if you find me on Instagram after seeing this, DM me. I'm excited to hear how much of an idiot I made of myself and what you think of me as a person. So please let me know.
I guess let him know. He opened it up. Let him
I'm
know.
ready. I'm ready.
Send him all the vibes.
I ain't gonna argue with you, but you can tell me what you think of me, and I'll be like, "Thank you very much."
I'll tell you what I think of you. I think you're pretty fucking dope, and I enjoy conversations with you. I enjoy collabing on your cover art and just art in general with you.
Yeah.
I appreciate your openness and appreciate your willingness to sit down and have this conversation. Also, thank you for busting out that intro. It only took you like a half hour. You'll spend a little more time on it, mixing and mastering it, and I'll have to get you something for that for fair exchange. But I appreciate just you in general. You're pretty dope. So keep doing you. We're shooting a week from so in 6 days we're shooting on the 17th. Your album cover. So I'm stoked. I'll see you then.
Thank you. All right. I'll see you, man.
Right. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. If you write a book or some shit, hit me up. I'll get you on the show. Let's talk about your book. So I keep getting lost for words, but yo, thanks everyone for tuning into another episode of the We Are One podcast. I think this is episode like 42 or 43. Pretty crazy to think that we have made it this far. I'm incredibly excited for the future of what we can do with this damn thing. Let's keep hanging out with dope homies like Ari and getting into some interesting shit. With that being said, like and subscribe. It helps build the show. Follow Ari on Instagram one more time. I think that's important to say. I've gotten a little taste of this upcoming piece of music, piece of work. I was excited about it. I told Ari I was proud of him for it, which I felt like weird at the time, but like it felt really cool to just see. It just felt really cool. It's dope to know you, Ari, and then hear like the level of music that you're able to create and just be like, I know the person that made this. It's like I know the magician behind the curtain. Like it's really cool. But yeah, that'll be it. Peace out, everybody. Happy 2021. I know we're 10 days in. Shit's already a little rocky, but we gonna be all right if we got to consciously put some effort into making it all right, though. We can't just be willfully ignorant and allow shit to continue passing us by as if we're just innocent bystanders. We need to step up and interact with the world around us for better. Because right now, the people that are interacting with the world around us are mostly interacting for worse. Why do the people that have worse off intentions have a better ability to organize than those of us that have good intentions for the world? I don't know. So you fucking good people need to step up and quit being so damn isolated, and let's do on some positivity onto this world. That was a fun aside, but that's a wrap. Peace out.